do you think?
I feel like each turn you had a lot to do, so I really enjoyed that.
Okay.
Your evolving game board is really cool, and that it's drafting so that no one's going to have the same board. Yeah, and then it means that every game you play is just going to be a little bit different, so there's sort of a lot of endless possibilities.
I mean, I put it with like tournaments or something like that, where there's like a lot going on, but once you kind of know what's going on, it's pretty smooth.
And with all the different win conditions, like if you and I played and we chose a different person, we could literally play this game hours.
I think the turn structure in itself is pretty simple and straightforward.
What about the hidden roles, secret objectives?
I like that concept a lot. I like that concept inside of a game like this. I think that's cool. I haven't seen that before.
Yeah. You can't give me an airship?
I had to prevent you from leaving.
Oh, I had to make sure
we're on the same team, but
he's
we're
a
not.
double crosser. Yeah.
Same team, but not the
See,
same
that would have been awesome to run into. Like, I love that.
I really like the combat. Like, it almost feels like a Dungeons and Dragons, but a whole lot more simpler because I still don't know of Dungeons and Dragons, like how the battle system works. So I feel this is a lot more simpler.
it feels less like you're missing out on stuff because you can do everything, and I like that. I like that.
That's a fair point.
I agree with that. I like going back and forth, but I also like the fact that it's 1, 2, 3. Everybody gets a chance.
I like this because it gives me goals to work towards, and a lot of times I get confused with games like this because I don't know what goal I want to work towards. And I don't have a clear defined path, but this gives me something.
My plan was to go around and just destroy all the airships that I could.
So are you, is the title the Unmaker?
Yes.
I have to make sure you're on the airship.
Oh, so we would have been rivals.
Yes. Oh, that's fun. Okay, so the Unmaker is a specific person. I'm the accomplice. You're the Unmaker?
Yes.
Okay. So I had to make sure you must escape on the airship.
I wanted the world to die. Yep. I just didn't want anything to do with it, and I thought that they should be punished for it. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, that was fun.
I think that should happen.
No, I thought it made sense, like how things went, how the resources were collected and everything. I liked being able to fight the giant crab and just kick its butt.
One of the things that I find very intriguing is how when you first start the game, you're not aware of who your alliances or enemies are, and learning as you go and having to adapt your strategy, I think is a really interesting game mechanic.
I was telling him I tend to prefer games that don't rely too much on luck, so I really like that the game has a lot of different aspects that can change from game to game, so it doesn't feel too familiar when you're playing it over and over again. But at the same time, there's like a ton of variation that doesn't rely on luck, so you don't feel like you're not in control of those decisions in the same way.
It seems like there's so much strategies. I'll play this 10 times. I'll find a new one each time. It seems like also you have to adapt a good bit. So I couldn't come in knowing what strategy I'm going to employ because so much of it depends on all the things that happen out there and the things that happen here. So I love that.
I like the asymmetric, but it's only partially asymmetric. Like we all have the same basic stuff, and then it gets fun in the details of it.
It's pretty cool that I have to find who my allies are and find who my enemies are. There's a little social deduction in it. Even though I accidentally ruined my friend. Next time I'd be like, oh, how interesting, who's on my team here? But it makes me feel a little cooler that someone else we could work together once we find each other.
I work for a small retailer, and so I've been on my phone because I'm texting the owner saying like, this is a really cool game, we should pay attention to it.
I've been having a ton of fun. I would say this has everything I could want out of a complex board game. It has resource management. I really like the combat system of like having sort of like a little mini game of just rolling against yourself and seeing how it turns out.
Yeah.
I like the way that this is done. I love like stamina based things where you can kind of measure that out. I really like it.
Pretty much everything being upgradable is cool.
Yeah.
So you can figure out what you're into and make that better. I think that's the part that I would get better at doing is where am I focused? I mean, make sure I'm going after that. So if you love combat, you can go after that. If you love upgrades, you go after that. If you like food, you go after that.
Sound game I would be willing to buy. I definitely think that it's not a beginner's game, but it's definitely a resource game that people who like resource games would love to play.
I did like the promotion system. So like with a lord, you can do any action basically, and that so that like that makes the Ascendancy quest pretty effective and an interesting mechanic.
I never felt like I was not doing something.
Right. True. I'm always looking ahead to what I want to do, so therefore I was never not engaged with the game. And I do think it is important. Just for myself, I love campaign things, and I love being able to then slightly tweak the characters and level up, even if it's just a little bit, even a small advantage.
I knew when I spied on him and he spied on him that these two are in cahoots. Because he never looked again after that, right? There's a lot of uniqueness to it. Spelling's got a little aspect of this, hex tile placement, building out areas and stuff.
I really like.
It's very different. Yeah.
I really like. It's not just a random map. It's an unexplored random map. It's not that you set the tiles out ahead of time and you can plan a path. You don't know, so you have to pick what you're going to.
Right? Who was drawing two and then picking one?
Well, if you scout, but if you just wander off, you end up with a negative effect, just like I did. I like that aspect of it. It changes the game every time you play.
I was feeling a little Mage Knight with the kind of uncovering the map and having the ability to like conquer cities that other players control.
The theme, especially, is strongly integrated. It makes me thinking about games like, like Diablo, for instance, with the loot and identifying it. That's nostalgic for me. I'm going to grow up with Diablo.
I mean, I like the mechanism of having, different levels of your adventures. Having an outcast, laborer, loyalist, lords, being able to upgrade those, I think, is great. Having the ability to gain influence and get an additional worker is pretty wonderful. I think strategically, being able to work this little ascension chart to gain different skills and whatnot is nice to have that ability. Having to strategize what you're going to do in one area, one phase versus the final phase and where you want to spend your workers. It's kind of really critical thinking. This is gorgeous here, but yeah, I think the artwork is phenomenal.
Now, what sets this game apart is it is a worker placement adventure game. To me, this is an adventure game. That's what makes it different.
Yeah.
I have not played a worker placement adventure style game. This is oozing theme, and that's what I love about it. And it feels like an adventure style game, like a sandbox. If I want to acquire knowledge to unlock text, I can do that. If I want skills for might, which will give me more health or give me stronger to make more buildings, I can do that. I'm just kind of imagining this whole, when I imprison this worker, I just imagine this gal going out and just capturing him, because we're rival houses, because we were rival houses. I was aware of that.
I didn't know that. He clearly knew it, but didn't tell us that he figured it out.
But see, you could make up a whole story in my brain about that. We've had some family feud, some kind of rival feud.
Well, this has been in development 5 years now, so it's been completely rebuilt at least 4 times and redone. So the artwork evolves, gameplay evolves, and I've just been trying to make it undeniable where it's got a little bit of something for everybody. Even though it'll never be perfect, it'll never be mass market. At least for people who like heavy 4X or worker placement, we'll get something out of it. I do like Lords of Waterdeep. But yeah, I tried to say, what if it was just had more,
Some player versus player combat, which I'm sure is in this.
It's optional, yeah. It's not for everybody, but people who want it, it's available.
When I read what that imprisonment did, I was on cloud 9 because I love little take that in my game. So when I saw that I could slow down our green player with the imprisonment action, I was I'm going for that blue cube. I'm getting it.
I like the idea too, the fact that you can pick how many decades you want to play, right? play a lot of decades.
And that's also true. Variable playtime.
That's critical.
Yeah, because she asked me, like, what are you looking forward to in this trip? I said, I want to try out this Ascendancy game. I was just kind of very interested in your design. And, yeah, I'm pleased. I'm very pleased.